All right, guys, the moment we've been waiting for is here. We are ready to launch an Etsy shop. So you're going to navigate to etsy.com/sell and click this little button here, open your Etsy shop. Now, you will need an email address to do so. I am opening a new business here. I've created just a Gmail account to go with it to start. My name is Tiffany. So I'm going to start by asking you your shop preferences. I'm going to select English. I'm in the United States and my currency is the US dollar. Selling is my full-time job, but you could select whatever applies to you. And then down here, just click the Save and Continue. Enter your shop name. You can check the availability. It is available. If your shop name is not available, you'll be able to pick something else. Some good ideas. If your shop name isn't available, let's just say if I wanted to do Heritage Signs and that was taken, then I see Heritage Sign Studio, Heritage Signs Design, Heritage Sign Goods, or just adding the word shop or design or studio at the end of your brand can be a way to have an Etsy shop with still the heart of your brand name, but not necessarily the exact things. Next, just click on that Save and Continue button. Okay, so now it's time to stock your shop. You can see that Etsy is telling you to list as many listings as you can. This is true, however, it is definitely a quality over quantity thing as we've discussed. So take this with a grain of salt. You'll do much better releasing fully optimized listings. So add a listing. And from here, I'm going to add in my photos. You can change the photo order around, and these should look familiar from your pre-launch workbook, but they by no means have to follow their exact recommendations. You can hold down Shift and upload several photos at a time. These are my main photos, and then I also have a section of infographics that I'm going to be loading. And while those load, I'll also add in my video. These will just take a minute to load. You may get any, if you get any warnings about resolution, you'll definitely want to correct that. If you follow the specs that were in your pre-launch workbook, you should be fine. So our primary photo is uploaded, and this is a really important feature to pay attention to, this adjust thumbnail. What it is it allows you to fine tune for what the shopper is actually going to see in search. So if you click this, you can really see, you can see it down here too, what they're going to see. So when we were talking about what your listing looks like in the sea of listings, you may want to bump up the size here, meaning just zoom in to get a better shot of your product, or you may like this kind of zoomed out look. It really depends on what you're doing, and you could also test this. You could duplicate this listing and test different croppings and just to see what is going to stand out the most in search. Sometimes things look right here, and then when you actually look at them in search, you're like, you know what, I think that should be bigger. So I'm going to go for this kind of middle ground. I still want to see my props, but I think I want to see a little closer shot of my sign. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. I think that stands out. You can still see the photo, which has people in it, which I think people like to see people. And then I just got to determine what order I want to put my photos in. And this is just kind of up to you. I like to think about what a shopper most needs to see. So I'm going to show a couple really visually enticing photos. And then I'm going to go ahead and let them know they have a few size options. They have some stain options and some letter options. And then I'm going to get into my details. I actually want to crop this because I can see a little bit of editing that I didn't take care of here. As you can see, that took care of that. This is my detail shot, and I think I want my font options to come after my letter options, and then get into some more details. End with my size small and my grand opening coupon. It's not really a coupon, it's just essentially an alert letting them know that they have a coupon. So this looks good to me, and you can preview your listing, but a lot of times they won't let you do this until all your fields are filled out, which is kind of unfortunate, but you can mess with this order down the line. So next was video. You can crop your video. I don't really think I need to do that here. There are some helpful links to learn more about making videos that sell. I encourage you just to take a look at those. And now we get, these are now red because I had actually hit that preview button. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. They won't be red for you unless you hit that preview button, but it is going to highlight out everything that we need to fill out in our listing. So to start, the title that you crafted, I've got a Word doc. Actually, this is a Google Doc, and I recommend typing out all of this information into a Google Doc. Just for spelling purposes and just making sure you catch any grammar errors. Google Docs will do that for you, and then you don't have to worry about that. So I'm just going to copy my title over from here to here. Now I have already kind of played with this a little bit, and I have hit it on the head with my character count. You likely will have to refine your title. You might not have enough characters, or you might have too many and need to do some refinement here of your title, and that is totally fine and to be expected. Who made it? This is just an about this listing. There is almost like a making sure that we are selling mainly handmade products. So I made it. It's a finished product, but if you're selling supplies, then you would select supplies. And if it's vintage or you recently made it, you have pre-made inventory, you could select any of these, but my items are made to order. Now, category, we talked a lot about category. This is one of your really important SEO areas. And the reason why is because it acts as tags for buyer searches. So I'm gonna just type in signs. And when I do that, you can see it populated out in the home and living category, the home decor category, wall decor, wall hangings, and then signs. So I would wanna select signs because that gives me all of these keywords. Whereas if I just put in home decor, then I'm not getting wall decor, wall hangings, or signs. So be as specific as you can in your category. And remember that once you select your category, it's going to give you more details to fill out based on that category. So in this case, I'm in signs, so you can see I have material, room, style, graphic, framing. If I were to type in jewelry here, it's going to give me some options. I don't know why it just went to pendants. Jewelry. It's going to give me options: charm necklaces, pendants, dangle and drop earrings. So be the nipple jewelry, okay. So be the most relevant category that you can be, and then select, then you see your attributes. Now, Etsy doesn't call them attributes, but they talk about them a lot, which confuses people. But these are the attributes. They're the additional details that come down. They're drop-down menus, so you don't have to brainstorm for them or anything like that. You just select them, and you want to select anything that's relevant. So in this case, you've got gemstone, necklace length, pendant height, pendant width, shape, style, theme. And these are all going to just be whatever your category is. So again, my category is signs, so I'm sticking to signs. And I'm going to go through and fill out now my attribute section. So my primary color for this sign, I would say, is brown. Now, if you have a very specific color, like your product is lilac, you would select purple. If your product is blush, then you could still select pink. Just as long as it's relevant. Don't select irrelevant things, but definitely select anything that could be relevant. I'm going to say my secondary color is white. My material of my sign is wood. This is actually a brand new thing that they just released yesterday for the signs category to add that material, which would essentially mean that I don't have to add wood up here in my title or in my tags, but I'm going to keep it because I know that I want to be the most relevant I can be, and I want to see custom wood sign in my titles and my tags and in that specific order. So this is a case of, you know, choosing to still include an attribute even though in my title and my tags, even though it is here, because it's just super important. Now I can select up to 5 rooms where this sign might work. I mean, if you look at this sign, where could it work? It could work in a lot of places actually in a home. Probably the most popular is going to be the entryway. I'm also going to select the living room. It could go in a man cave, but I'm not sure that I'm going to show up for other items like that. Definitely could go in an office, possibly a bedroom since it's a marriage thing. And I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm selecting 4 of the 5 that I could select. Style, I am targeting farmhouse, so I'm going to call it country and farmhouse. There's not really a specific graphic style that this falls into. It's a wood sign. It is unframed. and it is a rectangle. I'm not going to include my dimensions here. If you offer multiple, I'm not going to because I offer multiple items, but there is an option here that if you do offer multiple items, you could add multiple dimensions. The problem is it takes up your variations. I only have 2, and you'll see when I get there, I have to cram a couple things into there, including my stain color, so this won't work for me, but it may work for you, and it is great if you can use it here. I cannot. This is a horizontal orientation. I would say this is an all-season product. The occasion is going to be, they do a good job of explaining this over here, but if it's designed for the occasion. So for example, graduation party decor is designed for a graduation party, not just any gift that could be given for a graduation party, because then you'd fall into too many categories. So if this is a wedding gift, as he's telling us, that's not really what we mean. We mean if this is wedding decor or wedding, like something you would stick out. I could fall into that category. I don't really know, but I've got wedding already basically targeted the way that I want to target it in my titles and tags. I'm going to skip that for now. Choose holiday. This is again the same idea. If you're selling a Mother's Day card, then you're relevant for Mother's Day, not just any holiday that you could be gifted for. So this is not a holiday item. This is not any of these holiday items. The sign is not illuminated, therefore the bulb type, I'm not going to fill that out. Renewal, I'm going to select automatic. You can definitely select manual, and a lot of people do that so that if they have any listings that aren't selling, that they will essentially expire. And that's not a bad practice. I just tend to leave mine at automatic. You can read about that a little bit more here if you're confused at all. The type of item is going to be for me physical, because this is a physically shipped item. If you're selling digitally, then you'll select this box, and when you do that, you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and see that you now have this digital file upload area. You can add up to 5 files. Those files could be zip files, or they could direct to drop boxes, so you aren't truly limited in only 5 files if you need to get more of those files to your customers, but there's 5 actual upload areas. I am not selling digitally here, so this is a physical item, and as you can see, that box will not be there anymore. So next is going to be my description. We already went over this in detail. I've just got it over here in my document, and I'm going to, I've got it. One thing I like about writing my description out in a Google Doc is that these little like halves turn into fractions for me, and whereas if I were to type them over in Etsy, they wouldn't. I'll just show you the difference, but I really like the ability to add in like my little copyright thing here. Just looks a little more professional. I can adjust anything here. So if I were just trying to type half in Etsy, it's just going to do that. Whereas if I do it in Google Docs, it's going to give me that nice little fraction. There is very limited formatting available. I'm not sure why. It would be wonderful if they would give us some bolds or some italics or some underlines, but for whatever reason, Etsy doesn't do that. So we are limited, and this is kind of what I've worked out to make it so that this item's description doesn't read like a block of text. It doesn't look as good as it probably would look if we had some of those formatting tools available to us, but this is what we're working with. So this follows the formula that I gave you in the class, just with the bulleted highlights, fine print, and then some promotional items below. Oh, and you can also click this and it'll show you a preview in Google if you want to see that. If you have any production partners, if anyone's making anything for you or helping you in this, maybe you have a printer that you're sending your items to, whatever it is, you need to declare it here, and you would just do so by adding their name and how you're using them specifically and save the partner. Some of this is only getting sent to Etsy, and some of it is on the front side of your listing if you want to show it to them. So that is something to consider, that if you are using a manufacturer or anything like that, you need to declare. I am not. I have my own facility and do everything in-house. Section. This is basically how you're organizing your shop. I still like it to be a keyword because I just never know if anything could eventually become a keyword area of SEO. So I'm going to call this last name signs. And you can have, I believe we can have 15, maybe 20 sections now. I can't even remember. But you can add, it might show me here. No, it doesn't show me here. you can put it in whatever section you prefer. Now tags, this really should have like red flags, like it should be blinking, that this is not optional. I think it's kind of hilarious that they put that as optional because it's really so important for how you get found in search. A lot of times what I'll do with my tags is I will just copy this title straight down here and work it into my tags. Now that's a little bit of an old way of doing this because the title and tags used to have to match. They don't have to match anymore. I just like a lot of them to match. That's how I get my focus keywords. But you can just start kind of breaking apart your title into tags down here, and then you can make sure that you have some of those keywords that you wanted to make sure were in both your title and tag. You can break them apart like this. You can see I have some of this like language that I wrote for the customer that I don't want to be found for, like palette sign style. I just want to be found for palette sign, or mouse decor, established sign, custom wood sign, engagement gift, add. Now you'll see if it'll kick back and either have more than 20 characters, and you can see how far out you can do that. So now I have 4 left, and that's where I would go back to my brainstorming sheet and pull in any of those extras. But now I know that I've got like a lot of focus keywords that are in my title and my tags. This is probably too many, but you know, I don't know. I don't know if I believe that there's too many focus keywords. I think that being as relevant as you can for what you want to be found for is a great strategy. Now, I'm going to delete those tags out because I already have my finalized list of tags in here somewhere. But that's a lot of times how you can do it. And this becomes personalized wedding, wedding gift, and personalized gift. Materials. These are my materials. You could do this all straight inside of the listing. I just have them here so I don't have to babble thinking about it. Now my pricing. So pricing for me is going to be a little different than it may be for you. If you have one set price for your item, regardless of if you have different colors or whatever, then you're going to enter your price here. I can enter whatever I want to here. It's going to change when I get down to variations because I'm going to actually charge based on one of my variants, which is going to be my size and my letter finish. So just know you can put your price here, but if you have variations, this is going to go away and you're going to set pricing and variations if your variations change your price. So a good example of this is like the color might not change the price, but the size might, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But feel free, if this confuses you, go ahead and enter your price here. Quantity, so I like to set this at $9.99 because that's the max, and I make items to order. So I don't want to run out. I don't want sold out listings very often. So I keep this as high as possible. You would enter here your fixed inventory, or if you're selling vintage items, then this might only be a quantity of 1 if you have one of a kind things. Next is going to be variations. Explain what I meant there. So the variation type here, you can use any of these pre-loaded ones, or you can create a new variation. You only get 2, and so in my listing I have to work around that a bit. So I have to combine two variations into one, which is why I'm going to do custom ones, and I'll show you what I mean. This may help you too if you have a few things that you need to get from the customer. So I'm adding in a variation because I need to know the size, the letter finish, meaning if they want painted letters or natural letters, and the background stain color. So that's 3 variations that I need to know. 3 options. Variation, just another word for options. So because I only have 2 drop-down menus with Etsy, I'm going to combine size and letter finish into 1 variation. And that's going to give me, I'm only going to be able to add these one at a time. There are character counts here. Okay, now there are character counts in play here. That's why I have this written like this. If I try to write small natural letters, which I would like to, it's going to tell me that I can't go over that 20 character count. So sometimes you have to get a little creative with what you put here. But this gives me essentially 2 selections. Now these are different prices. I'm going to charge them differently if they want a large, and also charge them differently if they want their letters painted. So my prices vary for each size and letter finish. My quantities can stay the same, and I'm not using SKUs, but that is important to select if you need to enter different pricing. You'll do that in the next step after we save this. But before I do that, I'm going to also add in, now I could just put color, but I want to be really specific with what my customer is selecting. So I have chosen background stain as my custom variation. Because I have paint here and I have another color. Now the background stain doesn't vary the price. The background stain, they just select what they want. So I don't know if I have those listed in there. I do not, so I'll just manually type them in. Okay, so those are all in there now, and I don't need to select anything over here. So once I click Save and Continue, you can see now I have prices available to change for my size and letter finish, but no prices available to change for my background stain. So whatever my pricing is, so I've got this listed. I'm selling my small for a $45 fee. And then I know that my medium is going to be 88 and my large is 130. And that's pre-discount pricing. Then I know that I'm adding for paint, I'm going to add $7, which is going to be 52, 95, and 137. Now you can also link photos to your variations if that interests you. I don't think it's a bad practice at all, but you don't link additional photos. You have to link from your actual photos that are already in your listing. So I have all of the ones that I have shown right now are painted letters. So I'm going to show a small with painted letters, which is this photo. I'm going to show a medium with painted letters, which is this photo. I'm going to show a large with painted letters, which is this photo. And so when they select things on the front side from the drop down, the picture is going to change. The photo is going to change to show them, oh, you selected small. It's going to look like this. Oh, you selected medium. And these won't have any right now. I probably need to do another photo shoot and show some natural letters on my listing, but for now, I'm okay with it. Personalization section for me needs to be turned on, and it needs to be mandatory. So this box, if you didn't want it to be mandatory, you could select it to be optional. Now there definitely is character counts here, and as you type, you can see it populates over here, and your character count is going down over here. I've already written this out, and I could tweak it as needed. But I've got a pretty good grasp on this. So please enter your family name and established date. The format will be the family names and established 20XX. Please note size small has no date. So I've put just something that I really want to draw their attention to make sure they know here. And then I've also said if they've selected painted letters from the drop down above, that I need to know if they want black or white letters. So really in this listing, I could have used 4 variations if Etsy would have allowed me to. But again, they only give me 2. So I've pumped 2 into here, another one into my second variation, and then I'm just asking for the 4th piece of information here in the personalization, along with obviously their personalization details. So there are workarounds. I do wish Etsy would give us some more variants, but they've got a big platform and a lot of things to deal with. So now it says shops that offer free shipping on orders 35 and up within the US will now get priority placement in search. You don't need to click that learn more. You already know what that means. But what they're trying to show you is that you can set up they're encouraging you to set up free shipping. You of course don't have to, but you should definitely try if you can. Now, shipping prices, you can either have them be calculated, which they do recommend, or you can enter them manually. So It depends on how you're running your business. I actually don't have them calculate for me. I set a fixed price, but I'll show you calculated just to start. You're just going to put your zip code in here. So ours is going to be 014. Oh, too many zeros. Select your processing time. This is just how long it's going to take you to prepare the order. This is going to be 3 to 5 business days for this product. The faster you can make that, the better. Where you're going to ship, United States and worldwide. I'm going to edit that. I don't want to ship to all countries. I just want to ship to North America. And within there, you could select if you want to ship to Canada, Puerto Rico, etc. So this again, because you're using the Calculate for Me, they have mail classes where they will calculate each of these USPS mail classes for you, and you can restore the defaults. Or this is where you would select free domestic shipping or free international shipping. If you want to do it as a free shipping offer on this exact item. You can also add in a handling fee, which just basically you're adding above and beyond what the shipping cost is as a handling fee. The buyer's not going to see that. They're just going to see a whole shipping fee. So you're adding an additional fee in addition to what's calculated here. I am not going to do it this way. If you have calculated shipping on, you do have to add an item weight and an item size, because in order for them to calculate for you, they have to know that weight and size of what you're packing. I ship UPS, so I'm going to enter my fixed prices manually. And my shipping origin is United States, processing time is still the same. My shipping carrier is UPS, and my mail class is ground. What you'll charge, I'm going to charge a fixed price here because I am going to turn on a free shipping guarantee, which means I still have a shipping cost on this item if it's under $35. But if it's over $35, then they will essentially draw a line through this and say, we're giving this shopper free shipping because they've spent over $35. So I prefer to do that. So if they order the small, which I think is going to come out to around just over $30 with the discount I'm going to offer them, then they would pay actually the $7.50. You could still add shipping upgrades and additional locations. I ship to the US, so this is how my listing is going to look. And because my items all vary in item weight and size. I have different sizes. I'm not setting this up and I'm not using calculated shipping, so I don't need to. This is showing you a preview down here of where it's shipping, what it's going to look like to your customers, the shipping price, and the total price. I'm going to save this as a shipping profile. They're going to warn me that I'm raising domestic shipping costs and that buyers don't really like this, which I understand. This profile will let you apply the same shipping options to as many listings as you like. So I'm just going to call this last name signs. This is the shipping profile I use for my last name signs. You can always edit those later. And then I'm going to click Save and Continue. So now you've completed stocking your shop with one listing. You can stay here and keep adding listings. And if you have done any batch work and you're ready to do that, by all means. Go ahead and list out those high quality listings. But otherwise, you really just need one, and you can click Save and Continue. Now this is where you're going to set up all of those things that have to do with how you're going to get paid. They're all legal. Tell about yourself, your name, your birthday, your home address, where's your bank located, and all those other private details. Once you complete those details, you'll have this little giving the walls one last coat of paint notification, and then finally that your shop is open for business. Congratulations, and we will be completing our shop setup in the next lesson.